Children are supposed to grow up in a place where they feel safe, a place where they are loved, protected, and understood. But for many people, that's not reality. Because sometimes the people who are supposed to care for you the most end up hurting you in ways you don't immediately notice. And the worst part? You don't always see the damage right away. Back in 2008, the U.S. Administration for Children and Families reported that over 50,000 children were officially recognized as victims of emotional abuse, and that's only what was reported. Think about the number of children who were never counted, because emotional abuse doesn't leave bruises, it doesn't leave scars you can point at, but it does something deeper. It changes how a child sees themselves. It shapes their confidence, their identity, and even their future relationships. Because when you're a child, you don't question your parents, you believe them. So when they speak, those words become your inner voice, and that's where the damage begins. So how do you recognize toxic parenting? Here are 8 things toxic parents often say, and what they can do to a child over time. 1. Insults about appearance. You're ugly. You're too fat. You're too skinny. These words might seem small to some adults, but to a child, they are not small at all. They become insecurities, they turn into body image issues, and in some cases, they can even contribute to anxiety, low self-esteem, or eating disorders. A child should learn to accept themselves, not fear how they look. 2. Mocking behavior. Why do you walk like that? Why are you so weird? Why do you talk like that? These may sound like jokes, but children don't interpret them that way. They start believing there is something wrong with how they naturally are, and slowly they begin to change themselves just to avoid being judged. Even as adults, they may still struggle to be authentic. 3. Regretful or rejecting statements. I wish you were never born. I regret having you. I wish you were a different child. These are some of the most damaging words a parent can say, because they don't just criticize behavior, they reject existence itself. And a child hearing this may grow up feeling unwanted, unworthy, or like they shouldn't even be here. That kind of emotional weight doesn't disappear easily. 4. Making the child feel like a burden. You cost too much. Taking care of you is exhausting. You're a problem. When a child hears this, they stop asking for help. They stop expressing needs. They start feeling guilty for existing, and instead of turning to their parents, they start hiding their emotions. 5. Constant comparisons. Why can't you be like your brother? Other kids are better than you. Comparison destroys individuality. It teaches a child that no matter what they do, it will never be enough. And instead of motivation, it creates shame. It can also damage relationships between siblings, turning them into rivals instead of allies. 6. Verbal abuse. You're stupid. You're useless. You'll never succeed. When these words are repeated often enough, they stop sounding like insults and start sounding like truth. A child begins to internalize them, and that becomes a belief system that follows them into adulthood. 7. Threats of abandonment. I'll leave you. You'll wake up and I'll be gone. I don't need you. For a child, losing a parent is one of the deepest fears possible, so when that fear is used as a threat, it creates long-term emotional insecurity. Later in life, this can turn into attachment issues, anxiety in relationships, and fear of being left. 8. Broken promises. I promise I'll take you. I'll do it next time. But it never happens. At first it seems harmless, but over time it teaches a child not to trust words, not even from the people they love most, and that can affect how they trust others in adulthood. At the end of the day, words are not just words. They build identity, they shape confidence, they become the voice inside someone's head long after childhood is gone. So maybe the real question is not just about toxic parents, but about awareness, about what we say, and how deeply it can affect someone without us realizing it. Because a child doesn't just remember what you taught them, they remember how you made them feel. If this made you think of someone, share it. because sometimes awareness is the first step toward breaking a cycle